Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 1 of Mission Break 90. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kieran. I am a high handicap golfer and I'm documenting the process of learning the game of golf. I started up at a 34 handicap and I've been working my way down over the last year. For this series, I am trying to break 90 for the first time. And you may think that the logical first video of this series would be a course video. However, it's England. The weather has been absolutely terrible and I've been unable to go out and play this week. The first video is actually me going through my short game practice. So we're starting off here doing one of the drills that I've done on the channel before. I'm starting off about 30 yards out from the flag and I've given myself 10 balls and the goal is to get at least 60% of them on the green. Starting off relatively strong here. I get the first 3 on the green. And then shanks. So then set up for the next shot, do the same thing. And here at this point I'm thinking like, what's going on? Line up for the next shot, do it again. It's 3 in a row. Surely, 4th time, I can get it back on the green. Nope. Nope, another shank. There we go. 5th time lucky. Get back onto the green, and then away we go again. So, don't know what happened there. Bit of a reset, and was able to get things going again. So obviously, didn't get 60% on the green that time, so restarted the drill. And for context here, hitting off a mat, on our course, it's compulsory for mat, so I figured I'd just get the same sort of practice in with a mat too. So first shot, basically in line with the pin, really good shot. Second one hits it off to the left, but still on the green. Third shot, front of the green. 4th at the back, 5th at the front, 6th at the back, 7th pin high to the right, 8th at the back, and 10th just in front of the flag. So really happy. We got 10 out of 10, so moved back a little bit further. Here we're hitting from about 70 yards. I also have this tendency to flip my hands when I'm using the shorter clubs, so my typical miss with it is over to the left, and you can see just here that I did that. Second shot was good, 3rd shot good as well, 4th perfect, 6th another shank, 7th back to usual, 8th all good as well, and then 9th good. So there was a few that landed just a little shorter, but really happy with how that one went. So again, moved it back. We went all the way back to 100 yards this time. So kicking things off, 100 yards out. Really nice, bit of a draw there. Push the second one. 3rd one again to the left, 4th the same, 5th the same, 6th the same, shank. So just resetting, composing myself, making sure I'm getting that right movement there. Okay, back to normal again. Onto the green, shank. And then overcorrected myself, went all the way over to the left on that side. So this one wasn't as good. I think I got 5 onto the green. I decided to redo that one. I wasn't particularly happy with it, so restarting, hooked that one. That one was good. Third was good. Fourth, good. Fifth, pushed it. Sixth, hooked it. Same again with the seventh. Eighth, the same. 9, just a bit to the left. And then the 10th was bang on. So got 6 onto the green there. We take that and move on. Really happy with that. So then we were doing some edge of the green chipping, focusing on just getting up and down towards the front flag. Using Dagri's release 2, which I feel like is really helping for this sort of lie. So here this green slopes majorly from left to right, so I'm aiming left deliberately to try and get it to roll down. At the moment I'm just trying to figure out the pacing here, and a lot of them are rolling out long as well. Generally speaking, that was okay, but I gave a bit of a reset, focused on hitting the front flag, and I was really able to dial it in here. As you can see, loads of them in and around 6 foot, which is really good. I could definitely get up and down with a load of these, so very happy with how that turned out. Then the next drill I'm working on is typically just an up and down drill, so I give myself 3 balls for each flag on the green, and I'm trying to get them as close as possible, and then going over and putting them in. I give myself 1 point for an up and down, and I give myself 2 for just a complete hole out. My record with this so far is 8, so I was really trying to beat that, but my putting just wasn't on it today. General theme was I was getting good pace, just the wrong line. So I wasn't happy with that, so I just gave myself just another practice on that. I wasn't going to count it anyway, and I missed. Apologies for the angle on this. I need to get myself a tripod for when I am hitting on the green. So I was really happy with that one. Nice long putt from the edge of the green, sunk it nicely. And this one I just lined up completely wrong. You can see I'm aiming to the right of the flag, and that's exactly where the ball went. And then here, some long putts on the furthest flag. Again, was quite happy with the pacing, just wasn't getting them to drop as I would like. And we're on for a really low score here. And I just gave up at that point. Wasn't going to get anywhere close to the score I needed. So I moved to a different location around the green, and I did the same drill. So it seemed like today I just had this tendency to pull a lot of my putts. I just wasn't lining up correctly and then trying to overcompensate with that, and it just meant that things weren't sinking. This horribly crooked flag. Again, decent pace, but just wasn't good enough, so restarted the drill. Here I had some really nice chips, and I got 2 really close, and I also chipped in on the furthest flag, so super happy about that. It's always nice to see. So we start off the putting being on a score of 2. So that one just pulled off to the left-hand side. And again, same again, I just didn't read that the slope did that. But then I sunk that one in onto 3 points. Here for a longer putt, 4 points. Again, just slightly off on that. There we go, so we set up with 4 points for this up and down drill. All in all, from this side of things, although I do feel the most confident, still massively inconsistent. Need to figure out what I'm doing with those random shanks, and then also really need to dial in the putting. I feel like, especially in that drill towards the end, I was rushing, wasn't lining anything up, and wasn't committing at all to those shots. So a bit of improvement I need to get in there. And then generally speaking, looking in towards my training moving forward, I need to really dial in my longer game.
There, perfect. Big slice again. That was our worst 10 we've done. Just wondering if I'm just getting a bit too fatigued and getting lazy with my swing.
Can I fix my driver slice with just 100 range balls? I've never focused 100% on just the driver, so today I'm out here to see what happens if I do nothing but smash drive after drive at the range. Pretty much just living up to the meme of the driving range. I've got a scoring system in place to track how I get on. If I get the ball within my imaginary fairway, I get 2 points. If I get it just off the fairway, I get 1 point. And if I miss altogether, I get nothing. By the end, hopefully I'll see an improvement and a better idea of what I'm doing wrong with my driver. The perfect score is 200. My goal is 120 points. It's a lofty goal, but something needed to show that I'm being consistent with the driver. So let's get into it.
Okay, the first 5. Let's see what we're working with for today. Okay, one good, one bad. That one fell off a bit. That looked all right. Looking at 7 points from the first 5, which is a lot better than I was expecting. Key thought here was really just to get my hands back and then make sure my elbows are tucked and I'm hitting it off more of the toe rather than that first one which came off the heel. So just really getting in, tucking it. There, perfect. Ooh. Big slice. Big slice again. Ooh. Okay. So we're at 17 points through 20 balls. Started off all right, but I think just started getting really slicey again. So next 10, gonna really focus on getting round it, driving with my hips first. I don't really know how to explain it, but I want to get at the top of my backswing, move my hips before my hands, and then get round. So that's the focus. Yeah, that's perfect. Bit of a draw on it as well. Lovely. Yes. Came off the heel. Yes. That's absolutely money. Crunched it. So 27 points on 30 balls. I think that one saw the most improvement. So I'm going to keep doing that, but also trying to hit more out of the centre. A lot of those hooky ones came out of the heel, so focus on less heel shots. Yes. Perfect, right down the middle. Starting to see some progress here. I'm liking this. Again. Perfect, but high. All right, halfway through, 50 points, 50 balls, mixed bag. I feel like I'm overcorrecting the slice with a hook, so just got to dial it in this time around. Oh, hit the ground there. Okay, we are on 58 points from 60 balls. Starting to get quite fatigued now. Feeling it in my back. I feel like the general consensus so far though is they've not been as bad, but the misses, especially the ones to the right, are just awful. Like, you're talking like 2 fairways over kind of slice. So I really need to dial those in, but I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with my setup, so I can then get my hips round when I'm just about to start my downswing. I think sometimes when I'm slicing, I'm getting my hands just far too ahead of the ball, and it's causing me to like cut across the ball. So focus this time is keep my hands behind the club head, allow it to launch off. Okay, topped. Yes, that's good. Nice draw on that. Oh dear. That was really bad. There we go. Better. Oh no. for the slice. We're at 66 points from 70 balls. That was our worst 10 we've done. Slice is coming in. I'm just wondering if I'm just getting a bit too fatigued and getting lazy with my swing. It's also starting to get very boring, just hitting drive after drive. Okay, let's try and get to 80 points. Yes. Yes. Stay there. Stay. That was so much better though. Yes. Yes. Perfect. So we've got 20 left, 76 points. I think the goal of 120 is pretty much dead. So, new goal is get to 100. Yes. Yes, that's absolutely perfect. Okay, really need to dial in here. 10 to go. Oh no. Keep it going, let's keep it going, come on. Oh. Feed back in, come on. Yes. No. No. Last one. This is a big one. Last one, make it count. Come on. Got this. There's something quite poetic about finishing off with the exact same shot you started with. We tried. Good effort. Some improvements, but plenty left to be done. Okay, so we're out on the short course again, playing. We played a game of best ball last time. I think I'm going to do worst ball and see how we progress there. Today I'm going to do probably 8 holes, 4 from the yellows, 4 from the reds, and just see how that goes. So I've got a red ball and I've got a white ball. Start with the red one and let's get into it. So we are 130 out from the flag. I'm gonna use my pitching wedge, which I feel like could be too short, but we'll give it a bash. It's worked out all right. I think that one went left, maybe into the bunker. So let's try to correct that. It was a bit thin as well, to be honest. Yeah, that was perfect. Just short, but front of the green. All right, so we're rolling. The reason I'm doing the short course again is the forecast is just awful, so I've been unable to get out on a full round for a while. I've been playing the winter competitions
but can't really record those. So I'm just really going out and getting the short course in. I can get around in a couple of hours before it really starts to get wet. I think we're also due snow later this week, so this is my only chance this week to get something in. Okay, so looking at the balls, we've got one just there, and then the first one didn't make it to the bunker. Yes, so it's kind of anyone's guess of which is the worst. I think this is probably slightly worse just because it's further. So again, hitting off my mat, gonna get this to bounce. There's a leaf just like midway between the edge of the green and the flag. I want it to bounce there and just roll on quite nicely. So it's a bit short, that. Not the best. So it's actually left me with a fair bit to do on here. It looks like the greens are really slow, but this is a relatively straightforward putt. Decent line. Okay, that's a bogey. So this one's really short today. It looks like we're front of the green and also like 80 yards out maybe. It's just short of the green. That looks good. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, the challenge here is getting up and down. That's the whole point of playing worst ball, I suppose. So my first one was short of the green, and it's a chip on. Like that's fine. The second one is basically like, yeah, it looks like it's 2 foot out from the flag, just a tap in. That would be a birdie. So yeah, here playing for par, really. So let's see how I can get on with this. Okay, so yeah, it was nicely done, to be honest. Up on, rolling up towards the flag, then I can tap in. Yeah, that's perfect. That's given me a really good chance here. So yeah, basically equal on both sides. This one is to tap it in for the par. That's in. Lovely. Great start. Okay, here we're looking at similar distance to the last one. It's dead straight on. The green does slope here off the back, so the goal really is to get it on towards the front, and hopefully it can then roll off close to the flag that way. I think that was too soft. Okay, it's okay. We're at front of the green, but it's not rolled on, so I do need to give it a bit more with the second, just to give it a shot. Oh dear. We did the shanks. The shanks are back. The shanks are back. Okay, well, that's the worst ball. So this is a bit of a problem where we are. I'm just gonna have to go for it, you know, through the trees, up and over. Bunker. Yeah, so bunkers are, I believe, out of play at the moment. They're not in the best condition on the short course, so it's just a matter of getting this one up and over. We're playing for the bogey at this point, so nice contact here. It's rolled on nicely. Oh, that gave it a fair chance. Almost actually went in. Uphill putt.
it is relatively straight. So let's get it there. Oh, tough one. There we go, double bogey. That's really thrown a spanner in the works. Pleased with how I got out of the trouble. Did actually give myself a chance for a par chip in, but had a little bit too much and then it hit the downslope and rolled off to the edge, so it's fine. So we're +3 over 3, so basically playing bogey golf here. Not the end of the world, quite happy with that. Let's just see if we can build off that, improve for the 4th, and then from that point we can then just cut back onto the 1st, do another lap, and then call it a day. Job's a good one. Okay, so they've actually put a mat down here. This is longer than it typically is, or has been, so see how we get on. I don't even know a yardage really. I'm guessing it's about 80, 90 yards. Flag is towards the front. Okay. Using my 54. I think I scooped that a bit. Yeah, did not have the legs on it. That's much better. I have hooked it. It's gone in the bunker on the left. Had the distance. So we'll see where the first one went. Got under it, went really high, and then just slapped down. It's either plugged or it's in the water. We'll have a look. The second one is most definitely in the bunker. I think out of the two, if we can find the first, that would be the worst one. Hope we find it, because otherwise we'd be taking a drop. Yes. Yeah, see it. So here we've got the first one here, up there, and then second one here. At this point, we'll go with the first. I suppose you could put an argument for both, but we'll go with the first. Going for a bit of a chip and run here. Once we get to the flag, it's going to slope from left to right, so I need to get it pretty much left at the flag. That's really good. Get in, get in. Oh, that was so close. Honestly, I'm so happy with how I've been chipping recently. I feel like I've got it a little bit more under control. So this here, uphill putt, basically straight at it. Oh. Okay. I think I just pushed that a little bit. We're +4 after 4 then, so sticking well with the bogey golf. Okay, so we're skipping round back onto the first hole off the red tees this time. You may ask why I don't do the final 2. They're just a big trek around. It just adds into the time. And I think I get a good bit of variation here through just doing 4 from different tees. Oh, found a ball. Wilson, nice. So yeah, if I go around to the red tees, some shorter shots in, but just like add to that variation here. So get round twice in real quick succession here. Nice smooth shot. It's got to land right near the pin for it to have a chance of anything. just front of the green. Was a little bit relaxed with that, maybe too relaxed. Chunked it. So, all in all, bogey golf is what I'm going to be needing for breaking 90. So, it's promising. Granted, I'm worst further away, so that's going to require a lot of dialing in. But if I can keep up with bogey golf here, I feel like we're on a good track for what I need. It's going to be a good little chip on here. Feel like I want to get it up and just landing quite softly. So ball in the middle of the stance, up and over like this. Probably a bit too aggressive, that. It rolled on more than I was expecting. It's a long putt for par. It's not to say that it can't happen. It's relatively straight. I'm just going to give it a good chance. Ooh, it broke. There we go. That's another bogey. We look to be like 60, just shy of 60 yards out. Flag again at the front. There's a bunker on the right, so if I miss it short, it's going in the bunker. The plan here, I think, is just to play it safe, get it on the green, give me a chance for a par. We're playing for pars here, not birdies. That looks good. Yes, so it's just behind the pin. Good line. That was really soft, so I could probably go a little bit softer. Take a bit of a risk here. Okay, middle of the green, nice and safe. So I think we're going to take the first. Second one is closer. And again, it's like a relatively straight putt, bit downhill. So yeah, we'll take the first, a bit further out. So here we're looking at, yeah, it's a lot longer putt. It goes a bit downhill and it's breaking right to left. So there's some leaves here. This is going to be my line. Yeah. That's the line, up here, nice pace, get it to stop close. Didn't break, interesting. Got this going in for par here, slight left. We'll take this out. Okay, we had a chance there to break the bogey train, however, that's another one. So +6 through 6. I think all in all though, if I was to be playing best ball, we'd be on something similar. And I think worst ball is probably a better reflection of my consistency on the course. So finishing 1 under on that previous round was purely because I got 2 attempts at shots, I think. So this is a good indication of what we've got going on. So here the goal is to not shank it. That would be absolutely marvellous. That looks good. Yeah, that looks really nice. Bit short, so we could probably commit a little bit more. Hit the mat again, but we're on the green. Taking some positives here as well. I'm getting more opportunities on the green, so I'm selecting my shots here based off where they are on the green versus like which one was obviously the worst because it missed everything. Okay, so the first one was really good. Like, that's a really good birdie chance here. Second one, we've got a longer putt downhill. That's going to be a tough one. So let's see if we can lay this one up. It's downhill. Just want to get it so it dies just after that hill, and then the slope can take it down. Just going to go straight at it. Get there. That's exactly what I wanted. Perfect. Nice. Okay. Here. Confident putt. Let's get it in the hole. Yes. Par. That's really good. So +6 through 7. Under the target of a bogey every hole, so happy with that. Fixed what I did with that blow up hole on the first time round on this exact hole, so we take it. Some good improvements there. We've got one left to go and a bit longer. I missed both of those. I missed the green on both of those last time, so it's time to redeem ourselves there, get another par. Lovely golfing conditions here. Can't wait for summer. Get it close. I want 2 really close. Okay, that's short. On the green, but short. Next one. Let's get it there. That got such a nice bounce. It landed really close to the hole. I thought that had bounced in then. Wow, okay. Okay, we're taking the first again. Uphill. And it is going to break from left to right. Laying it up, get it close. Great pace. Great pace. Okay. Tap this in. That's another par. Fantastic. So good. Okay, so that wraps up this on-course video. Promise you I'll get some proper 18-hole course work done in the coming months. The weather is just so restrictive of what we can do, and obviously time, daylight hours as well. So I'm working a full-time job, so trying to get this in between work as well is tough. So wrapping this one up, played 8 holes of the short course, 4 holes from the yellow tees, the same 4 from the red tees. We finished up 6 over through 8 holes playing worst ball. I think that's a great success. I'm really happy with that. I feel like we've made some good progress with the chip in over the last few weeks. The putting as well is just consistent. I feel like I'm getting that feel for things a little bit more. Yeah, the greens are slow at the moment, so we'll see as we transition into the drier months. But right now I can only work with what I've got, so I'm going to take the positives, and I feel like we are close to breaking 90 within the first few rounds that we play on the channel.
January was a good month for the golf. I played my best ever round, but it was a scramble, so the score doesn't really count. However, the shots I played really mattered. So let's get into the monthly recap. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the monthly check-in. If you're new here, my name is Kieran and I'm documenting the process of me learning how to play golf. Currently, I'm on a mission to break 90. Every month, I keep it simple. I go over what improved, what I struggled with, and exactly what I'm doing next month. I'm also giving myself a few stats and targets to work towards, so I have a good focus on what I can improve on throughout the next month. So if I was to summarize January, I would say that the driver started working again and my short game stayed strong, both of which are huge for my progress. These improvements led to my best ever performance on a scramble round last week. For clarity, a lot of the golf I'm playing at the moment is team events or pairs events. Just the nature of how things are at this time of year, it's hard to get out and play some solo rounds, so I'm very much limited to the competitions that are put on by the golf club. So I make it a habit that no matter what the weather, I'm out playing those. I'm also restricted in the sense that my handicap can't drop through the winter months because of the way that the course is set out with temporary greens and some closed holes. I cannot accurately get an updated handicap. So playing the team scrambles is just a good way to get out and practicing, putting myself in some high pressure situations. So for the biggest highlight of the month, we played a pairs scramble, 18 holes, and between the two of us, we finished 1 under par. So really happy with that. In previous scrambles, I felt like I haven't been able to pull my weight massively, but this time round, a lot of my shots were contributing and I felt like I played the best I ever had. I just felt confident and everything just felt smooth and it just clicked, and it's a really good sign of things to come. My biggest strength still continues to be my short game. I feel like I'm really comfortable getting it up and down from around the green and putting. I'm seeing a lot of improvement with pace control. And then for the biggest weakness, it's still the driver. Although I've been putting a lot of work into it this month, I don't feel 100% confident that the shot I line up to take is the one that will actually happen. So that is definitely going to be some focus again for the next month or two, just to make sure that when I do line up to take those shots, I am feeling as confident as I am when I'm hitting anything around the green. The big miss with the driver is still a cross between a huge slice or a top. I did want to share with you the best moment of the month as well. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it on camera, which is just absolutely tragic. But during that round, I was able to hit a pitch shot from about 100 yards out, and I landed it within 6 foot of the hole, and I was able to tap it in for a birdie, which really saved our scores. It was just one of those shots that I just constantly keep thinking about. It's definitely that shot that keeps bringing you back for more. Now for the bad bits. As I said, the last round I played, I was really good and everything just seemed to be working out. However, the round the week before was just the complete opposite. Everything was terrible. All of my shots were just going right, and I felt like I had no control of what I was doing. I just generally felt really out of sync. So then I thought about something that my coach had advised me on, and he basically said that playing golf is just 18 holes of problem solving. He said that I shouldn't go into the day thinking that I'm hitting everything badly, it's going to be a bad day, and instead I just need to commit to what I'm trying to do, and if it just doesn't work out, start using that to my advantage. So coming into the round last weekend, I decided I'm going to commit to the draw, I'm going to visualize that shot when I line up to the ball, and I'm just going to hit it, and if it doesn't work out, I'll then adapt. And for whatever reason, that worked out and everything was going nice, and on the occasion where it didn't draw, the ball was just going straight, and that helped so much. So that's something I'm going to continue doing, and hopefully I can kind of ingrain that into my mind for the future so I don't have to think too heavily about that. And like always, the general goal is like, I don't expect to play perfect golf. I just want to improve. I want to get better at it. So if I'm able to make something just a little bit better, then that's a win for me. And I think we're getting there. So in terms of just general stats of how the month went, I played 3 full rounds. It is January, the weather was terrible, so a few of our rounds were cancelled. I also played 2 rounds on the short course. I did a round of best ball and a round of worst ball. And then I was hitting the driving range twice a week as well. just to kind of work on the swing changes that my coach had been helping me with. Scores wise on the course, I didn't play a solo round, so I don't have score to work off there, but playing the scramble, we finished -1. And then on the short course, I played with my round of best ball. I shot 6 over through 8 holes, which generally speaking is pretty good. I think that is a positive sign. The goal is to play bogey golf at the moment, and if I can get under that, then that's a huge win. So definitely I think that's a positive that I can take forward moving into next month. So the driver has kind of been the main problem with my golf swing since I started learning how to play, and this month was no exception. I've got a two-way miss. It's either a top or it's a slice. In the past, I've opted to not use my driver at all and just use my hybrid off the tee, and that works fine sometimes, but really if I want to improve my golf game, I need to feel confident with my driver. So this month I put in a lot of work with it. I set myself a few challenges, and as silly as it sounds, like the 100 ball challenge that I did a few weeks back kind of helped. It really helped me get into the mindset of what I need to do when setting up for these shots, how to take them, my grip, my stance, and it was a good session of block practice of just hitting drive after drive. And it's actually the first time I've gone to the range and hit just my driver. I don't think I'm going to do it again in that much volume, but it was a really good stepping stone for me to assess what was going wrong with the driver and then trying to perfect it by just hammering shot after shot. So I'm hoping with some more consistent practice with my driver, that will become less of a problem, and I can use it to my advantage, because when I do hit it nicely, it goes pretty far. So I also wanted to talk about what's going well. And as I mentioned last month, my short game is really where I feel in my element. I generally just feel comfortable over the ball, and my chipping it's not the best in the world, but it is definitely at a standard which is above my handicap. So I'm happy that has continued. I've continued to work on it, and I've started to introduce a few different shot types as well, thanks to Dan Greaves' short game book, which I'd highly recommend if you haven't read it. But also, I feel like I've seen an improvement with my putting. I got myself a putting mat over the Christmas break, and while the weather has been poor outside, I've been able to just hammer putt after putt and just feel comfortable with that movement and not have to overthink that process. And those results have really started to show when I've played the short course and when I've been out on the course. I feel like that is something that if I can make just a solid part of my game, my scores will drop dramatically during the summer. But obviously with putting, there's two parts to it. There's pace and then there's line. I felt like a lot of the time over the last year, I've not been particularly good at pace. It's either been really underhit or really overhit, and I've really been able to dial in that part of it. So I'm aiming less for just getting the ball into the hole and instead just having it stop at like that bin lid distance for me to tap in for a 2-putt. And that seems to work, and occasionally one of those putts goes in and it feels great, but for the most part I'm not aiming directly for the hole, and that takes a whole load of pressure off. So moving into February, I've got a few different things that I'm going to be working on. I've got 3 priorities. Number 1 is the driver. I want to make sure that this driver becomes playable. I'm not too worried about distance. I just want to keep it in play to give me a good shot to progress the ball further down the fairway. And I don't need it to be perfect. That is something that you can't change dramatically. So the goal really is just to get it better. If I can reduce the big miss, then I think we're onto something. So getting rid of that slice and most definitely getting rid of the top. If I can eliminate both of those from my game, I think we'll be in such a great position. My other priority is just some consistent practice. With the weather being so miserable, it's difficult to solidify a practice routine because most of the practice involves me being outside, and if it is snowing, if it's frozen, if it's chucking it with rain, there's no point being out there because I feel like the practice just won't transfer through. So that being said, February, the goal is hitting the range twice a week, doing some short game practice once a week, and then putting inside 3 times a week. And if I can do that for the next month, I feel like we're in a good position for March, when hopefully the weather gets better. And the third priority is just trying to get some more rounds in. I would really like to play a solo round to really see where my benchmark of scoring is at the moment. It's been so long since I played a proper round, and the anticipation is just killing me. I want to know if my practice has helped, generally speaking, throughout this winter so far. Okay, so I'm going to quickly run through the goals that I've set myself for February. Goal number 1 is I want no more than 1 penalties off the tee. I'm counting that as a top or a slice. If I can eliminate that, I feel like we're onto something there. Goal number 2, I want at least 7 fairways and regulations or playable shots. So that includes obviously hitting it into the fairway, but then also onto the fringe or anywhere where I have a clear shot to progress the ball down. And finally, I would like a putting average of under 2.25 per hole per round. In my last round, I was averaging just over 2 putts per hole, and I think that is definitely somewhere where I want to be consistently. Yeah, and then also a bit of a bonus goal. If the weather allows it, I would like to break 100 again. If you'd like to see any specific videos of my practice, let me know. If you want to see some more on-course videos, just leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to include more of those moving forward. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for another video.